Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering today will be in the sport of wrestling inside the WWE world. In today's bonus segment, I'll be sharing my Wrestlemania 41 dream card. So as you guys know that follow the podcast, this obviously isn't my normal setup. I am in my car, warming my car up to get ready to go to work. But I just thought I'd get the bonus content. The grind doesn't stop. So these are the following WrestleMania matches that I do believe should occur at WrestleMania 41. We should get The Rock versus Roman Reigns. I think that dream match should either main event night 1 or night 2 of WrestleMania 41 this year. Followed by the other match that should main event night 1 or night 2 this year. That being CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. That match is so big it doesn't even need a world title. Speaking of world titles, I would have John Cena chase his 17th world title reign, facing Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I would have Cody Rhodes defend the WWE Championship against the Viper Randy Orton, his former ally, his ally and mentor. I would have Tiffany Stratton defend the SmackDown Women's title against Charlotte Flair. I would have Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. There's so many matches that we could get for WrestleMania this year, and the Royal Rumble is so unpredictable this year. You don't really know what's going to happen, who's going to be the winners for the men and the women's Royal Rumbles this year. I mean, also I could add in the fact Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu, and possibly a bloodline storyline that finds its end game at WrestleMania 41, followed by the Usos versus Tama and Tonga Valor in a tag team match. There's so many great matches that we could have for WrestleMania this year. Possibly LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. But let's go to a deeper dive of why I picked these matches for WrestleMania 41. Now, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Obviously, I believe that match has to happen this year. With everything that's going on in the Bloodline storyline, I think this needs to wrap up and finish at WrestleMania 41. Be like an end-all, be-all of the Bloodline storyline of how great the story has gone on for 4 years, but it's reached its mark, it's reached its course. I think The Rock returning at Bad Blood, seeing Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes team up with each other to take on Roman Reigns' cousins, other members of the Bloodline 2.0, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, that ruffled the feathers of The Rock the wrong way. So I do believe that we will be on a collision course to finally get the dream match of Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania 41. There's so much history there. I know a lot of people wanted that match last year for the WWE Championship, but it just didn't happen. And it was best for Cody Rhodes to finish his story at the time. So I think the WWE should pull the trigger here, have The Rock, the final boss, that heel persona, against this new OTC babyface slash tweener version of Roman Reigns here. And I think that's a great main event to have for WrestleMania night 1 or night 2 of 41. Now, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. That's a huge match we definitely should get. And we were robbed of that last year due to the fact that both guys had injuries. I mean, Seth Rollins did get it together and go into WrestleMania with a meniscus injury, but CM Punk had a torn tricep. And we were robbed of that WrestleMania 40 match that we would have gotten for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I think this year, the magnitude of the match, it doesn't need a world title this year. These two absolutely hate each other. And they've crossed paths in 2024 without actually wrestling each other, really hitting each other in a way. You had CM Punk cost Seth Rollins the World Heavyweight Championship and Money in the Bank. You had Seth Rollins as a special guest referee cost CM Punk his match at SummerSlam against Drew McIntyre. So the bad blood is there. These guys, it looks like in real life they really don't like each other. So I think it's best to get this dream match at WrestleMania 41, either the night 1 or night 2 main event slot. Both CM Punk and Seth Rollins deserve this spot. Now, the reason why I do believe the next match does make a lot of sense for me at WrestleMania 41, that would be Cena versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I think that makes a lot of sense to have Cena chase his final world title reign at the stage that he's in, because we are going to see John Cena retire from the WWE. This will be the last time you see him at WrestleMania 41. So I do believe it makes a lot of sense for John Cena to go ahead and try to capture that 17th world title. And who did pursue better than the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther? I think that makes a lot of sense. The story is there for Cena to try to capture his final world title at his final WrestleMania. So I think that's a one hell of a match. I mean, the ring general Gunther has been one of the best workers in WWE since he's debuted in NXT of UK. So a few years ago. So I think that makes a lot of sense to do. Next match I would do, honestly, on my card is that Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes match. Now, that Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes match makes a lot of sense because Randy Orton is in the mix of that SmackDown. He's in the mix of that SmackDown storyline right now with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. Nobody knows what really to do right now. So I think that makes a lot of sense for Cody. Possibly to still have the WWE title by WrestleMania 41. Either Randy Orton win the Royal Rumble this year, or he wins the Elimination Chamber to earn his spot for WrestleMania 41. So I think that's a great match to have on the card with these friends, but former Legacy members wrestling each other for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41. The story is there. I think that gives both of these guys a big marquee spot on the WrestleMania 41 card. Also on the card, I did mention Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. That match makes a lot of sense because both Bianca and Jade Cargill they're reigning defending women's tag team champions right now, and they won the titles twice with each other. Realistically, there's not going to be much more for these women to do with these women's tag team titles. So I think either on the road to WrestleMania or it's going to happen soon, one of these women turn heel on each other. And I would prefer to see a Bianca Belair heel turn. We haven't seen her be a heel since really her NXT days. And I think that'd be a chance for Jade Cargill to connect more with the WWE Universe as a natural babyface. So that's the direction I would have for these women to go in. Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton for the SmackDown Women's title makes a lot of sense because Tiffany Stratton can cash in the women's Money in the Bank contract on Nia Jax. That is a developing story that it's going on Friday Night SmackDown right now. So I think that makes a lot of sense for Tiffany to eventually cash in on Nia Jax to win the title. If I'm going to make a prediction of who wins the Women's Royal Rumble this year, my bet would be Charlotte Flair. After she blew out her knee last year, tore her ACL, she's been missing MIA for nearly 12 months. If anybody deserves the headline WrestleMania for all the work that she's done, being a 13, 14-time Women's World Champion, it's Charlotte Flair. One of the greatest in-ring performers that I've seen in a long time, men or women, and she's one of the best athletes and in-ring performers that the WWE has to offer. So I think Charlotte Flair getting that chance against Tiffany Stratton in a dream match with her winning the Royal Rumble, that makes a lot of sense. Jacob Fatu could eventually turn on Solo Sikoa to have that WrestleMania dream match with Jacob Fatu not wanting to follow in line of Solo Sikoa, the tribal chief, anymore. So I think that makes a lot of sense too. And of course, that would be the fallout of having the Usos, one of the greatest, if not the greatest tag team in WWE history, taking on Tama and Tonga Valoa. I think that makes a lot of sense too. Another match I'll throw in there before I end this segment. The women's world title on Raw, that's very unpredictable of what direction they want to go in for WrestleMania. I wouldn't mind seeing Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I mean, they would have to drag out their story all the way to WrestleMania. Or I wouldn't mind seeing Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the women's world title at WrestleMania. But there's a lot of ground to cover of what could happen for WrestleMania 41. I will also say Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn could make a lot of sense if Sami Zayn joins the Bloodline possibly for War Games, and we can see that. So I think those make a lot of sense for WrestleMania 41. But that is my WrestleMania 41 dream card. That is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.